This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast for Wednesday, March 30th. That's what the calendar says. The world regards today as the third day after the slap. That's why the entire
so true.
The entire society, how many days since the slap?
Heard around the world.
Day 3. So coming up, though, we're going to talk about some grade 5 students in Indiana who have got an idea. They got a telephone line called When Life Gives You Lemons. Call a 5th grader.
Yeah, bring some positivity.
And be careful which buttons you push, or you may have to answer a few questions on their curriculum. And
you didn't even save that phone call.
Oh
you just
my gosh!
dropped it.
Yeah, after like the third question was like, I don't want to talk about this.
This does not make me feel better.
Yeah, 5th graders are like really smart. They're like smart. They're like new
Very
math smart.
Oh, I know. I have one at home. They know.
Yeah, they are.
Yep.
Smart as whips. But we're going to hear some of their motivationals. That you can press 3, I think it is, and then they'll tell you how great you are. So if you need to hear a random 5th grader tell you you're doing a great job as an adult, so we'll have that for you later on in the podcast.
And maybe Chris Rock and Will Smith both need to hear that.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because we had Jimmy Hollywood this morning with his rumor. Again, it's a rumor, but he believes it's, the smoking gun behind the slap as to, why it happened. And there aren't too many angles left you can talk about because they're all out there now. And I am amazed at all of them. And
some really great conversations have come out.
That's the thing. And
the conversations being had, I think, are very important. And it's very interesting to see all the different perspectives.
Yeah.
And, yes, opinions, but ways that it's being taken and talked about, I think, is the most important thing.
We've used the word trigger before, and it has triggered something in virtually everybody.
Yes.
And it's not all the same. And it's not all in support or against either one. But something like that has triggered people to say everything from, my initial reaction was a man standing up for his wife, to a woman doesn't need a man to do that, to you just don't hit people because you don't like a joke, to there must be, it reminds me of when I was young and I knew somebody who always hit all the time and they had mental health issues. So is it like everything?
Not just the what, but the why.
The why, yeah.
And the how.
Yeah.
And the reasoning behind it, but then what do we do?
Yeah. And
also.
And then why then is he a privileged actor that to this point there's been no repercussions? Oh, he may lose the trophy. Come on, is that right? So there's just so much discussion.
What should those repercussions be?
Yeah.
Like, should he have repercussions, and what should they be? Is also a question that's being raised. And the Academy is actually going to decide that tonight. They did want to review it and have a discussion themselves around it and see what the best way was forward.
And I love the fact that the new code of conduct was updated since the Me Too movement began. So guys in Hollywood are now going to be held to a standard.
And not just against women.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Guys towards each other.
You say, well,
how that behavior is being looked at now.
Yeah, but the relationship of the two is different. Doesn't matter. It's a code of conduct. It's not a code of relationship.
Yep.
It's a code of conduct.
For everyone.
And that is a no-win situation for them. No matter what they do, they will be criticized by people who will say it's not stern enough. Well, I mean, it's the Academy of Motion Pictures. They can't have people arrested. All they can do is say you can't be in our club anymore. And it's our,
But you can argue that with anything. When this comes up.
That's what I mean. Like, they can't win.
When this situation arises in any context, whether it's man, woman, 2 men, 2 women, whenever there's a harassment or assault, any crime really. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're waiting to hear.
Is it tough enough? Isn't it tough enough? Is it over-exaggerated? Is it? Yeah.
But as if the Academy is going to set the pace.
Oh, I know.
For how we should. I mean, it's just like ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, but quite often it's Hollywood that does have its finger involved in things that go on politically, socially, and in this instance, people are watching to see how this plays out.
Yeah. There was a very interesting survey that came out this morning that asked people, okay, what do you think? And the numbers didn't line up, but it was almost 50-50. It was like 52-48 in favor of. So, and that isn't right because, again, I'm not trying to pick sides because of what the survey said. But, 52% said, Chris Rock didn't deserve what he got. Now, the 48% didn't say Will Smith should have done it, but they kind of said, I kind of get why he did. So it isn't as polarizing as it seems in the media of social media, because everybody with a hot button on it has had their say. Mm-hmm. But the sort of what I would call the middle America person that really doesn't have an opinion one way or the other and isn't triggered by it, really doesn't see it as a big deal. It was just, 52% say this, but, I kind of understand that, but I just we think everybody, because, we deal with it and talk about it and broadcast it, feel that it's got a big emotional attachment to it. It almost seems like maybe it'll die out to the average person more than, say, like a George Floyd moment did. And this isn't the same, but it has that same feel of that. Or when Charlie Sheen was going crazy, and all anybody talked about for weeks, every day was, all right, what's Charlie Sheen doing? That became, or Bennifer, when Ben Affleck and Jen, the first time around, that's all anybody talked about. This will be that same moment.
Britney Spears.
Yes, this will be that same moment for weeks now. What will it be at the end?
Well, and I think because, yes, it's a trigger. And there's no question about that. But a lot of people, I think the why and the how they really want to know. And as you said, with all those examples, I think that's why it was so polarizing. Everybody just wants to know why. Mm-hmm. Why did he react this way? Was it really out of anger? Was it really out of some past trauma? Was it because of this? Was it because of that? And what is going to be done about it? It's the why and the how this happened. Yeah. And let's not let it happen again, or how can we move forward from it? And out of that have come some very interesting, some a little more ridiculous than others, certainly, but some theories.
We'll call them conspiracy theories, but they're just theories.
Speculation.
Jimmy's theory this morning that he says will be on the front page of all of the fish wrappers.
Mm-hmm, and the gossip.
I don't know that he's the first one to come up with that. I'm not taking it away from him, but he's the first one who gave a lot of credence to it, is that Chris Rock and Jada Pinkett Smith were in Madagascar as voices for the movie back in 2008.
I forgot about that, but yes, they were both in the film.
And then apparently they have a history. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Mm-hmm. And that recently, Jada's come out and said, yes, we have the open marriage that they talk about. So, I don't know. So now let's make stuff up. So they're getting ready Sunday night, and Will says to Jada, by the way, I heard what you said, the whole thing, Chris Rock. Maybe he's aware of it. Maybe it's true and he knows.
I'm sure if it happened, he knows. I'm sure.
So they're getting ready, and she's putting on his bow tie or whatever, and he says, well, Chris Rock's going to be there tonight. How do you think that's going to go? And maybe they have a talk, and maybe they're nervous about it. Again, I'm not trying to defend, but as you said, it's not the what I agree with, but why.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one theory, is the theory that there is some very deep, angered or sorrowful feelings about that encounter.
Well, earlier
that has lingered.
Earlier in the evening, Regina Hall made the joke about how she was single and wanting to point out the single men in the room, and made the comment that Will should be included on that list, and Jada okayed it. So, which I didn't realize that joke had been made, but again, I saw that and I thought, okay, so you're right. Maybe there was tension already before they got to the show, and then that remark is made, kind of setting it up, and then it just took Chris Rock to kind of put him over the edge, because further to that, again, reading another article this morning after talking with Jimmy, the point was made that over the last little while especially, a spotlight really has been shone on their marriage, because Jada came out and said that we have this open marriage, and there have been relationships outside of Will that I've had and outside of myself that Will has had. So there is a real spotlight and a sense of tension. So maybe this was what pushed him kind of over the edge. Like, stop talking about my wife. Stop talking about us. I'm done. I'm just done with it.
Yeah. Or maybe they had that discussion that, let's stop talking about our marriage being an open marriage and let's work.
It is what it is. We're done.
We're done. And then,
let's move on.
And again, we're not saying that he was right to do what he did. We're just trying to find these theories as to the why.
Because Scientology, of course, was also brought into it.
Here's the craziest one that, and it was explained to us this morning by a coworker that in the Church of Scientology, a slap, like a face slap.
According to this conspiracy, yes, this theory.
Holds something. It has meaning. It is the indication that when you disapprove of somebody, it's a slap. Sound strange? Again.
If they're disrespectful towards you.
Right. We're not condoning. In some way, we're explaining that this is what it is.
This is what is believed to be how Scientologists react.
And they are Scientologists.
Yes.
And the idea is, what if Jada is a higher member of Scientology than Will? Within that power structure, if a higher member instructs you to do something, you got to do it. Mm-hmm. So if she looks at him and gives him the sign as from one Scientologist to another, I want you to go take care of this. According to Scientology, Will has no choice.
You don't argue.
But to go do it, because the repercussions for that in Scientology will be dire.
Well, then you get a slap in the face, apparently.
Or worse.
Yeah. So, and we've seen the pictures, and the argument has been made that Will reacted, he laughed at the joke at first.
Right.
And Jada was unimpressed, and then all of a sudden he's on stage and he slaps Chris Rock. So it's kind of like, okay, what changed?
If he's not defending his wife, if he's merely following what is expected of him as a Scientologist, that's something else completely as well. And part of it discussed that, when Tom Cruise gets extremely angry on set, that's his verbal slap to the people. He
verbally, makes it known. He doesn't physically take action.
Will could have done it verbally. He could have stood up and pointed and yelled and then sat down.
He did make the comment after, very strongly.
Yeah.
So, on live TV.
Yeah.
So there's that.
All these theories.
And of course, in my mind, I still go back to the idea that maybe it was planned. Maybe it was staged. Maybe, again, Will and Jada were sick of people talking about them and their relationship and each other, whatever, and had mentioned this to Chris. And again, this is just my own mind going. This is how my mind works. And Chris said, hey, you know what? I'll make a joke. You hit me. And then people will see you react and know that you're serious and you don't want to take it anymore.
And that'll be it.
And that'll be it.
Yeah. Because I'm going out on tour. My ticket prices
will skyrocket. Yeah. I'm not saying they thought that far ahead.
Right.
But kind of like, you know what? Hit me. I'll make a joke. You hit me. And that'll that.
Or just go slap me. I'll try and get out of the way. Like whatever. Yeah. Nobody will get hurt.
Yell at me. Something. You react. And I'll help you out, man.
Wow.
That's where my mind
Crazier, right? Crazier things.
We're all trying to make sense of it, right? Yeah. We're all trying to understand why it happened, how it happened, and hopefully come to a resolution and move forward from it, learn from it.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens within 24 hours. We'll know what the Academy Awards.
It's crazy.
The Academy of Motion Pictures is going to lay down the law.
Yep.
On Will Smith.
Make their decision tonight.
Thank heavens we have fifth graders who can put their perspective of the world in place.
Yes.
The phone line is called When Life Gives You Lemons. Call a fifth grader. Sharon Canlakin teaches the fifth grade at Milford School in Wawasee, Indiana. Put this together as a project. They had heard about the one in Alberta that did dad jokes every day. And then they heard about the one, there was another one out in California that did, I think, just sort of motivational. You could phone. And they said, well, let's do all of it. So they've got, hit 1 for jokes, hit 2 for curriculum. Beware before you think you know what's going on. After teaching your kids at home, distant learning for 2 years in the pandemic.
I think we all know. Don't pick that one.
Then there's the motivational one. So I thought, well, that's the safest one to call. So I gave that a call and tapes it so we can enjoy this morning.
Thank you for calling Milford Schools. When life gives you lemons, call a fifth grader phone line. We're glad you're here to lift your spirits. Press 3 for pep talk or advice. Pep talk and advice.
You're awesome. So all your bad feelings go like Elsa. You look nice today. Be you. You're the best. Get out and follow your dreams.
Okay, the kid that said you're the best didn't sell it, but otherwise you're the best. Make all your bad things be like Elsa.
Let it go. Some great pieces of advice.
And I love the fact that the teacher no doubt would have said, if we do this, we got to do it. It's not just one day. We got to do this. You teach them that if we're going to do a project.
You've made a commitment. We're going to work together as a team. This isn't going to be just 1 or 2 kids. We're all going to participate. We're all going to contribute, and we're going to follow this through.
And you want to change the world? This is how we're going to do it with one little phone line. So, I mean, it's a long triple number. If you were to just Google Indiana School Pep Talk phone line, you'll get it. You'll get the phone number, then you can call every day. And I'm not sure how often they update it, but we can call them every once in a while.
Well, what a great way to bring the class together. Oh, yeah. And what a great way to give back. Because I think for the most part, children especially always want to do that. They want to find a way that they can help. And this is a wonderful way that they can. And it's so simple. Just some pieces of advice.
And again, I salute the teacher because we've got so many around here. Like, for example, the young man at Harmony Public School, when he had his motivational speech.
Yes.
That teacher encouraged. And then we've got Hayden. We got Ella up in Marmara that just won with the S.E. Johnson.
Happy Hands.
With Mrs. Nickel, that's a teacher. So here's a teacher that when offered this opportunity, or the kids said it, didn't say, no, your job is to learn how to read and write. Saw this as a remarkable teaching moment and said, you know what? This is going to teach you a lot about, let's do that and make it part of our geography. Let's see how far away people can call. Like you can adapt the curriculum to help these kids really get involved in school and education. Yeah. Kids in that class, not dropping out. They're not dropping out of school. That's just great. And these kids are going to go up saying, do you ever have a great teacher? They're going to say, yeah, in grade 5, a great teacher. I mean, that's great stuff. So go out there and enjoy your day. Hands to yourselves, everybody, right? No touchy. No touchy. It's Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast, where we always have the no touchy rule. No touchy.
No touchy.
That's rule number 5. No touchy. Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you get your favorite podcasts out of Belleville, Ontario, Canada. Enjoy your Wednesday. Get ready for a fabulous Throwback Thursday tomorrow morning. Hit our socials to vote for your favorites. That's coming up tomorrow at 95.5 Hits FM.